Alrighty, y'all, we've started pretty early just because we do have a life-threatening situation for the potential of extremely large hail. Let me just switch over here, make sure the scene loads. It always glitches like that to load up. So yeah, welcome everyone to the stream. I'll welcome you guys in just a second, just real quick. We've got a life-threatening situation for 2.75-inch hail out here in Lancaster, Queen City, Worthington, Livonia. I know how to pronounce that in my head, but it just won't come out right. This is in north central Missouri. Also a considerable severe out here in south central Iowa. This is where we're anticipating a very, very rapid development of severe thunderstorms today. So we'll be watching it very, very closely. And let me just go ahead and get my risk out here. So here is the risk for today. There you go. We've got a large enhanced risk, slight risk, marginal risk for severe weather. That's all level 1 in that dark green, level 2 in the slight, level 3 in the enhanced risk, which is a orange color there. All of this is for damaging winds. Portions of it is for hail, and then another portion of it is also for tornadoes. Tornado threat is pretty low today. We did get the introductory of a 5% chance there in that brown area. Hail threat, of course, is the largest issue. Same with the wind threat as well. So let me just go ahead and show you guys all those probabilities very, very briefly going through all of this. There's once again the same outlook. 5% tornado threat over there. Northern Missouri, southern Iowa, western Illinois. Wind threat is at a 30 hatched for the potential of up to 90 mile-an-hour winds today. And the hail risk is actually hatched for the potential of up to 4-inch hail today, even though the title says 3. I may need to up that because they are talking about the potential for 3 to 4-inch hail today inside specifically that red hatched area. And then tomorrow, not really looking at much severe weather tomorrow. Anything organized should occur in Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado. And then day 3, we got a marginal. So today's really the last big day in terms of severe weather for a whole entire, 4 days or so. Because we've got the day 5 slight risk for severe weather in place. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But anyways, again, we do have a life-threatening situation out here in Queen City for a destructive severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for 2.75-inch hail. A lot of chasers are already starting up their live streams now. Severe storms are popping off just a bit earlier than anticipated. We were really anticipating them to get going. Well, it was weird. So last night, we anticipated these to fire at 2 o'clock. This morning, we expected 4 o'clock. This afternoon, we were expecting 6 o'clock. And then once we hit 3 p.m., storms started firing. So we kind of flip-flopped all over the place. But, I mean, here we are. Here we are. So let me just see what we got in here today. Storm Dakota, Caleb, as well as Girl Dev, Legacy, Misty, Paranormal. V, glad to see you in here. Storm Dakota once again. Chip, glad to see you here. And JD, if I didn't already say you, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you guys all in here. Legacy as well. Hopefully all is well with y'all. Not much tornadic activity happening right now, but outside of the U.S., we do have a couple of tornadoes that have already occurred, to my knowledge, up here in Quebec. I do believe that this is the best shot for tornadoes anywhere today. It's actually up here in Quebec, believe it or not. So I don't think we'll see much action in the U.S. Now, I created a new scene. Let's see how terribly this goes. It went pretty smoothly. So there's all of the radar sites that we have up. That's our entire, pretty much all of my radars that I have up. Not all of them. I do have some that I haven't put on there. I can only manage to fit 6 screens. I could fit 2 more above my face cam where I have the satellite and the Outlook, but this will just have to do for now. Hello, Proxy Paris. Glad to see you here as well. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on all this stuff. You can see most of these screens are starting to be filled with severe weather now. You have, I'll zoom this in, that top left one, you can see this is GR Earth. Top right one is Radar Omega. We'll keep that on the Des Moines, Iowa radar site. And then this one's going to be the bottom left. That's also your Des Moines radar site one. So I won't be using this too frequently. I'll definitely use it throughout the live stream just to get an overview of what's happening. But I won't be staying on this very long for, multiple hours this live stream. Switch back to our destructive severe here. Go back over to Iowa. So this is, again, our life-threatening situation that is occurring right now up here in Lancaster, north central Missouri. Make sure you guys are in your safe spot. That orange box is a particularly dangerous situation. That's a life-threatening situation with the potential of extremely large hail, up to 2.75 inch in diameter. Connor will be going live very shortly here in about 7 to 8 minutes or so. I don't know exactly where he's located. I imagine he's trying to get back towards southeastern Iowa. More storms starting to go up on the northern and southern edge of this destructive severe. So those will also be storms to keep an eye on. Before we get too far into this, because it's going to be a wild day most likely, let me just go ahead and show you guys the hour by hour per se forecast. So this is 4 p.m. So this is what the radar should look like right now, and it's completely different. So we were anticipating these storms to really get going towards 5, 6 p.m. Eastern time tonight, but that is not the case. So honestly, this radar is not going to do us, or model run's not going to do us, really any good. But generally, we're anticipating a lot of thunderstorm activity over the next 4 or 5 hours here to continue to grow upscale into very large hail, possibly a couple brief tornadoes, and mainly damaging winds. Then later on tonight, towards probably 7 o'clock tonight, we should see additional develop back out here in Illinois, southeastern Iowa as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on that, and we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Let me go back over to our current radar. So again, this is a look at our thunderstorm out here in Lancaster. It warned for 2.75 inch hail, which is baseball-sized hail. 60 mile an hour winds as well. That is a destructive severe storm. So just make sure that you guys are in your safe spot if you're up here in Lancaster, Missouri. Elsewhere along the risk area, we are anticipating a lot of thunderstorms to fire out here in Colorado and Kansas right about now, and those are starting to go up. We have one warned for just about 60 mile an hour winds, 0.88 inch hail out here in Burlington in eastern Colorado, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. And more storms should initiate later on this evening out here in central Kansas. I don't really think they'll be that big of an issue. Main area to watch today by far looks to be where we already have some watches out. There's really 2 different areas, one in this region and then another area back out towards here. So I think we'll have 2 regions to really watch. You could just combine these into one, just like that. The enhanced risk does go all the way down towards Kansas City, Missouri. So we do have a quite large enhanced risk in place. We didn't see an upgrade to a moderate due to uncertainty on exactly where storms will be firing and where the threat will be the highest. But I mean, we still have an enhanced risk in place. That's still a level 3 out of 5. So quite the high-end threat today. And we'll just be monitoring it throughout most of the day here into the night hours as well. So again, this is warned for 3 inch, or not warned, my bad. The watch is for the potential of 3 inch hail, as well as 80-mile-an-hour winds. So we are anticipating both 3 inch hail and 80-mile-an-hour winds today. So we'll be monitoring it very, very closely. We're already seeing, like I said, 2.75 inch hail. I don't believe we've seen a warning for 70 just yet. Look at that. We just got another warning. This was up to 2.5 inch hail. I believe this was 1.75 right before we started, so that was actually upped a bit more. Let me see when they upped that. Yeah, so they upped that right when they issued the destructive severe, so they upgraded it right there to 2.5 inch hail and then issued the 2.75 inch hail one. They just updated it, still warned for 2.75 inch hail. So still a life-threatening situation there. Not anticipating much tornadic activity today. The tornado potential is low, but definitely present, so tornadoes are definitely going to be a possibility. However, we're not anticipating tornadoes today, but they will be possible. We're anticipating 80-mile-an-hour winds. We're anticipating 3-inch hail, and a tornado or two will be possible, but are not expected. Let's see here. Also, something we're really going to be struggling with today is radar holes. Yay! A lot of radar holes here. We've got a very nice radar hole right in our, pretty much our main risk area today is a beautiful radar hole where we're barely going to be able to be doing analysis on these thunderstorms. Later on tonight, storms are going to fire near Davenport, so we should be able to see that pretty easily with both Davenport and Peoria's in a bit of a radar hole, but we should still be able to see these thunderstorms easily, as opposed to these, which are just going to be annoying. So, yeah, there's your, once again, if you're just joining, this is your risk area today. We have a level 1 threat. That's a marginal in the dark green. Slight risk is a level 2, and an enhanced risk in the level 3. If you're in that orange area, that's where we're anticipating in that orange area for 3-inch hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds. It doesn't necessarily, that's the word I was looking for, mean that you'll see 3-inch hail. So right now, up in north central Missouri, you guys northwest of Lancaster could be seeing 2.75-inch hail. Y'all may be the only people to see that large of hail today. So it's really, you have to get under the wrong type of storm. And so far, it looks like most of those storms will fire out in this region and be a big issue. And then later on tonight, we're monitoring for the exact same threat a little bit more east towards Davenport and Peoria. There is some uncertainties on when those storms will get going towards Davenport and Peoria, but they will eventually get going. I think the main uncertainty is west of where these storms are currently going. So this region here is where I'm most uncertain about severe weather occurring, pretty much in the Kansas City area. I don't really know what we'll see. I don't really know what we'll see out there. If you're in Kansas City, you're obviously in that risk for 3-inch hail and 80-mile-an-hour winds today, but I'm unsure exactly what we'll see out there and when we will begin to see it. Let me check the HRRR model. Yeah, the HRRR is probably going to be pretty useless today, and I say that because its timing seems to be completely off. So I haven't gotten a chance to look at mesoanalysis today, so I'm going to just briefly go look at that out in Missouri. Okay, very favorable environment. Very favorable. I can't speak today. Very favorable environment for all hazards. The tornado threat's definitely lower because it's a 20-degree temperature dew point spread, just like yesterday. But as we go into the night hours, we may have a very short window between like 7 and 9 p.m. For that tornado threat to be a little bit more of an issue. But I still don't see the tornado threat being too crazy today. Most likely because of the messy mode, yet again. Yeah, they still do have the AOIs out here. We've got a 20% on day 7, or in the next 7 days, we have a 20% chance for tropical development in the Eastern Pacific in that yellow area. I just can't talk today. 20% chance for the day 2 to day 7 time frame out here in the just off the coastline of North Carolina, South Carolina. And then this is our main one, 40% chance in the next 7 days out here in the southwest portion of the Gulf of Mexico. just off the Yucatan Peninsula. So we'll be watching that one the closest. Some models have this potentially heading up towards Louisiana next week, but I don't see that being a possibility. I think it's going to be potentially forming into a depression around the AOI area and probably impacting Mexico. Shouldn't impact the US, but we'll watch it just in case because you never know. Yeah, Indiana, unless you're in northern Indiana, you'll be perfectly fine. Even if you're in northern Indiana, just keep an eye out for some isolated small hail, isolated gusty winds. If you're not inside that severe watch and you're in Indiana, say Indianapolis, Lafayette, Jasper, off your screen in Evansville as well. A few instances of very heavy rain, some lightning, maybe a gusty wind event or two will be possible, but shouldn't be anything significant or anything severe. I wouldn't fully rule out a severe storm towards Lafayette, back or over near St. Louis as well. That area could definitely get in on a severe warning somewhere along that region. But if you're further south outside of that slight risk in the marginal, storms should be rapidly dying off by the time they get to you. Let's see here. Southeast of Grand Rapids out here, west of Lansing, Michigan. We've got a severe warning for 60-mile-an-hour winds, 0.75-inch hail for the next 14 minutes. So we'll be monitoring that very closely. Connor is about to go live. So we'll see. We'll see where he is. Yep, northwestern Indiana, just a lot of thunder and lightning out there. I don't see anything significant coming to northeastern or northwestern Indiana at all. Yeah, northwestern Indiana should be perfectly fine. A lot of rain and thunder. Let's see here. Sitting over Peoria. One of our mods, Caleb's out there in Peoria. I think he went to get a drone for these storms later today. Definitely in the risk for severe weather, that is for sure. Primary threat should really be towards 10 p.m. Central. So currently, I'm just monitoring to see when these storms are going to get going near Davenport. Let me just switch to this. So this is kind of our... I don't know what this is. Is this your cold front? I was going to say we'll call it a boundary, but I'd like to call it what it actually is. Let me see. It might be the cold front. The cold front's a little bit more to the south. That's what these storms are firing off of. So we're just going to have to wait until this convection moves towards Davenport, which will be later on this evening. That should really get going closer to the late evening hours. Let me see here. So this is still warned for 2.75-inch hail in north central Missouri. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Also, I'm going to take a quick look at the satellite imagery. I'll show you guys that. We'll look at this together. Satellite imagery can tell you a lot. Whoa, whoa. Okay, let's go back over here. All right. Few things I'm already noticing is the wild CU field that is developed over northwestern Missouri, southern Iowa, eastern Nebraska, northeastern Kansas, all in this area here. Again, you have something back here, which is going to kind of act like a forcing mechanism. I don't really know what it is at this moment. I didn't really look into it. But once this area here, generally this region, moves off to the southeast and gets towards Davenport, which you can see another area of CU, which is basically just clouds going up. So once that cloud cover over central Iowa hits the clouds over north central Illinois, we should see initiation somewhere out in this region right over Davenport. It may be a little bit more to the northwest of Davenport. It may be right over Davenport. So that's what I'm watching for very closely. And I expect that to happen close to 6 o'clock. Models are saying like 8, 9 p.m. I think it will happen closer to like 6, 7 o'clock tonight. I don't know what the NAM is saying, because the NAM was correct with yesterday's severe threat. The NAM actually doesn't have much happening out there in Davenport. If I had to guess why, I would have to say that cloud cover may be a partial issue. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But then again, the NAM model is also incorrect because at 6 p.m., the NAM had no thunderstorms ongoing here in Iowa. It's 4:35 Eastern time, and we definitely have severe storms happening. Yep, I see Connor went live. Where are you, Connor? I'll wait for him to say where he is. Alrighty, let me go back over to Illinois. So this is up here near Chicago. I saw someone say Chicago, just some light rain showers. If you're very far southern Chicago, closer to like Oak Forest, you're probably experiencing heavier rain, maybe some lightning. But nothing too over the top at all. Alright, so this stuff's in a radar hole. We can't really see it too well. Not easy at all to see that. You'll see it at the top left screen. Just a lot of hail. Same case as what we had yesterday. Let me organize all my radar sites again. I like to keep all my radar sites on specific storms. Really can't put anything out here west of Kansas City. I mean, there's no storms firing up, but we'll see. And, yeah, just gonna be a waiting game until this stuff really explodes more. Currently taking a look at the satellite imagery once again. There's a lot of clearing, too. An impressive amount of clearing that occurred throughout most of the day already. Out in southern Iowa, till that CU field started to develop. So we are very, very prime for severe weather out here in north central Missouri, southern Iowa. I'm curious to see how Iowa's risk is going to play out. If we have storms initiate, it's definitely going to be an issue. If not, then we may not have much to speak of out there. So we're still at that destructive severe warning for this storm in Lancaster, north central Missouri. Just make sure you're in your safe spot. This is really the only concerning storm at the moment. Did they just downgrade that? Oh, they actually just upgraded that. So this is now for 3-inch hail. That is your first severe for 3-inch hail of the day. Already getting going out here. Very elevated, so the tornado threat should be very close to none with this at the moment. Doesn't mean that in 30 minutes it won't have a tornado threat with it. But at the moment, this is a massive hail producer out here in Lancaster. Alright, so Connor is... Let's see. This is where Connor is. Oh, wow. He is west. Gracious day, Connor. You are west. I was expecting him to be like here. He is very far up to the northwest. Probably didn't have enough time to travel. But he's up there, so he's gonna have a solid, at least a solid hour, probably hour and a half before he gets on any of these storms out here in southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri. So if you're in the other severes, out here towards like Charlotte and south central Michigan, just make sure you're indoors away from doors and windows. Same goes for if you're in this severe towards Scott City, Kansas, Burlington, Colorado. Just make sure you're indoors away from doors and windows. This orange box here over Lancaster, north central Missouri, that's the only place where you have to be seeking shelter at this moment. That is a life-threatening situation for now, 3-inch hail being a possibility out there. And I didn't look. Is it observed, perhaps? Let's see. Train spotter reported 2.75-inch hail near the intersection of Highway... Is that Highway 2 or Highway Z? Looks like Highway Z to me. Let's see. 6 miles north of Lavinia. I know how to pronounce it in my head, but it won't pronounce. Oh, well, there you go. Tennis ball-sized hail was reported northwest of Glenwood. That's a much better report there, because it was observed for 3-inch hail now. Northwest of Glenwood? Let me just check that again. I want to make sure I saw that correctly. Yep, northwest of Glenwood. So that's somewhere in the hail core right out here. I'd imagine it's probably now west of Glenwood where we're seeing that large, very large hail threat north of Julesburg. So make sure you're in your safe spot. They're still continuing this severe for 2.5-inch hail up here. It was downgraded to, well, they upgraded it again. It was downgraded for a second. It was downgraded for a second to 1.5-inch hail. They upgraded it back to 2-inch hail. And now they warned another one for 2.5-inch hail. So overall, if you're in any of these polygons, it's just better safe than sorry. Seek shelter. So if I'm anywhere in, Lancaster is at, let's see, let me zoom in to read what that says. Queen City. So Lancaster, Missouri, Glenwood, Missouri, Worthington, Missouri, Queen City, Missouri. Make sure you guys are all seeking shelter. You don't have to, but I highly recommend seeking shelter if you're out in this area, south central Iowa. That's well to the south of Bloomfield, Iowa. Towards Mark. So make sure you guys are at the minimum staying away from doors and windows, preferably in your safe spot because it's got some big hail with it. We are starting to see some storms fire off in central Kansas already, which I can't say I'm too surprised about that. Let me go over, well, we don't have a radar site out here, but you can see we are starting to see some storms firing up near Russell, Ellsworth, and dead central Kansas at the moment. Those should pose an all hazards threat, with the tornado threat being very low. Main risk with those should be hail and wind. Tornado can't be completely ruled out, but I would be very shocked if we saw a tornado in Kansas today, anywhere in Kansas. I think the most likelihood for a tornado would be if we get this mode going towards Davenport. That would have a really good shot at producing a tornado later in the evening hours. This might have a chance later down the line, but doesn't seem to be that interesting. So I think if storms can really get going in Davenport, that's where we'll have to watch for the main tornado threat, but it still should be very, very, very low. I would be pretty surprised if we end up with a tornado warning really anywhere in this risk area, because I don't see that big of a tornado threat at the moment. I think, like I said, once we go closer to sunset towards 7 to 9 p.m., probably Central Time, I would say. So that's closer to 8 to 10 p.m. my time, Eastern Time. That's when we're probably going to have a better shot at a tornado risk. And the reason why is because those temperatures should decline quite quickly. The only issue is that's going to build in a capping, and these storms should also start to die out at that point. So we'll have to see once we get towards 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, what these storms are doing. Girl Dev, you are most likely not going to get 80-mile-an-hour winds. I can't say for certain, but you're definitely not in the risk for it. If you end up with 80-mile-an-hour winds, just know it would be one of the rarest things, because you're in a marginal. Those storms look to be strengthening out there in northwestern Iowa here. You can see they are starting to fire up a little bit more. They're not severe. I don't even think they're strong at the moment. Oh, actually, one is strong for 2 more minutes. Then that special weather statement expires, so not much of a big deal there. Let's see. North of Davenport. I think you guys will be okay out there. North of Davenport shouldn't have a risk. Now, if you're in like northern Davenport, I would be weather aware just in case things get going. There's uncertainty on if storms will even fire here. If they do fire, it's going to be a big severe risk. If they don't fire, then we probably won't see much to speak of out here in eastern Iowa, and maybe even most of central and northern Illinois. It's just a matter of if those storms get going. Yeah, you're in the risk, so I would be weather aware. Definitely want to be weather aware, just in case things really get going. We should be live. I mean, we should be live for that threat. If it gets going within the next 5 hours, we should be live for it. So, definitely want to be weather aware. All hazards are on the table. Biggest threat, if storms do get going, is wind. Wind and hail. Tornado threat will be low, but definitely present. Northwest Indiana, just make sure you're indoors, depending on where you are. If you're in and around the South Bend area, anywhere up here, make sure you're indoors. That's the main precaution, and that's about it. There's nothing more than that currently in northwestern Indiana. And if those storms do get going in eastern Iowa towards Davenport, this region, they will most likely make their way towards northwestern Indiana and then pose a bigger risk. But we'll just have to see if they start to fire. Because some models have them exploding, other models have absolutely nothing happening. So it's really a 50-50. But again, if we do see stuff, we're most likely going to see significant severe weather out of it. Reports now. You can see the report of 2.75-inch hail that we read on the Polygon. That's from law enforcement. This is a report of 2.5-inch hail at the moment. 3 miles northwest of Glenwood. Not seeing that blue 3-inch hail report. So I see the 2.75 and the 2.5-inch hail report, but not 3-inch hail report just yet. Welcome, Sam. Glad to see you in here. Rock Island, is that in Illinois? Yeah, so if you're in that area, Davenport, pretty much, just make sure you're weather aware. There's no imminent threat at the moment. It's a severe thunderstorm watch, which means if storms do start firing, the environment is favorable for very large hail and damaging winds, as well as a brief tornado, but that tornado risk is very low. So this stuff's in a radar hole. That's why I can't really do any analysis on it. I'm not dissecting it as much as I normally do. But long story short, just a lot of hail right in here. Towards Glenwood, Lancaster, moving off to the... Is this moving south or southeast? About to find out now. This looks like it's moving more southeast. Yeah. So this is going to barely hit Queen City. Continuing off more southeast near the... Downing area. Should stay off to the west, southwest of Memphis at this time. Now, if we just look at this, I mean, it's moving this general area, so Memphis will probably get in on some severe weather out of this storm. So if you're in Memphis, that's north central Missouri, not Memphis, Tennessee, Missouri. That's Memphis, Missouri, in the northeast quadrant of Missouri there. Make sure you are ready to stay indoors, away from doors and windows. Make sure you have things, preferably your car, inside the carport. Make sure your pets and animals are inside, because this could have some pretty large hail with it. I see how everything's going. I'm in Illinois. Let me see. Let me see where that is located. I definitely want to be weather aware, but I don't see too much happening out there today. I'd be pretty surprised if you end up with anything, but just stay weather aware. There's another risk tonight towards like 9 p.m. Central that I'd be watching closely. If storms are going at 9 p.m. Central, then they're probably going to be severe around your neck of the woods. So I would be keeping an eye out towards the late evening hours into the early night hours. But at the moment, there's no imminent threat. Once again, you're in a watch, which means if storms get going, it's favorable for significant storms. This is a pretty high-end watch. Let me show you guys the National Weather Service. So this is an official watch, of course. Now, you are actually... Let me just... see, you're in a different watch than our main watch, so you're not in the biggest risk area. So your watch has a moderate for wind, moderate for hail, and very large hail. Basically, that means if we look at probabilities, this will help us understand it a bit more. Let's see here. So there's a 40% chance we see 58-mile-an-hour winds, 10 events of 58-mile-an-hour winds or greater, and a 10 hail events of 1 inch in diameter, 50% chance for that. So, hail is the biggest threat with wind. And it's just a matter of if storms really get going. We're watching for storms to fire generally in this region here. And then they would slowly make their way this way, off to the southeast. Like this. Let me see that. Oh my word. Wow. Train spotters have reported larger than baseballs. Gracious day. So this is a extremely dangerous situation here. It's not actually an EDS, which I don't know when they issue those, but I'll rephrase that. This is a very life-threatening situation for Lancaster and North Central Missouri. Very, very much life-threatening. 4-inch hail possible with this storm. 4-inch hail is possible with this storm, so make sure you are running to your safe spot. That's what I'm worried about for tonight out in this area in like Illinois, right out here in Illinois and eastern Iowa, because if storms get going and they move into that very, very favorable environment tonight, this is, the potential that they could have. So that's 4-inch hail that is ongoing in Lancaster. And just remember, we're about 30 minutes into this event. We're about 30 minutes into this event, and we already have 4-inch hail ongoing. Which is absolutely crazy. That is a softball-sized hail. Man. We'll see what they continue that for. We should have a new severe that gets put out for the Downing area. Maybe Memphis, Green Top. Maybe as far southeast as Bering, Rutledge, actually. Granger, and northeastern Missouri. Because this storm is moving southeast. So you can see it was moving south for a second, but now it's moving more southeast. So it's moving in this general direction, I believe. Yeah. Should be moving in that general direction. So we should have a severe warning that comes out very shortly. Also, another storm that has really exploded back out here towards Eldon and Flores. Is that Belknap? North of Bloomfield in southeastern Iowa for 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. So make sure you guys are also preferably at least indoors away from doors and windows. But if you're in this orange polygon, north central Missouri, you need to be in your safe spot because that's for 4-inch hail, which is not that fun. That's not that fun. They are continuing that warning for 4-inch hail. So they didn't put it as far southeast as I thought. They put it for Green Top and Downing, and Green Top. Queen City is inside that again. Glenwood, Lancaster. The old one expires in 22 minutes. Kind of surprised they didn't extend this a little bit more to the southeast, more like this. The reason for that is this isn't like too slow. If it was moving at like 5 to 10 miles per hour, I'd understand why they did that small of a polygon. It's moving southeast at 40. Southeast at 40. So this will be out of the polygon. I mean, it already is. You can see it's already getting outside the polygon there. The main hail core is here, where you see the pink right there. That is where your main hail core is, where we are most likely seeing between 3 to 4-inch hail occurring. So make sure you are in your safe spot. Again, we're in northeastern Missouri at this moment. So if we read the text on this, you can see the sources of law enforcement. I wonder if law enforcement has reported 4-inch hail. It says observed, so I assume law enforcement reported 4-inch hail. But I haven't seen it at the moment. I've seen 2.5, 2.75, but I'm yet to see the 3-inch hail report, and definitely not seeing a 4-inch hail report. But typically it does take a little while for the reports to come through on the softwares, so not too surprised by that. Storm's still trying to get going out here towards Russell Hayes, Ellsworth, and north central Kansas. So we'll actually dead central Kansas, so we'll keep an eye on that. There's our 4-inch hail report. Well, we may have to wait for it. Well, we'll go back to this one so you can see it. So there you go. Photo of 4-inch in diameter stone. Lord have mercy, that's very large. That is really large. And you just saw the new warning get issued for Memphis for observed 2.75-inch hail. So still destructive. Still destructive. Definitely want to be in your safe spot there. Trying to find the right radar site. So we just got that new warning. You'll see it on this radar site in about 10 seconds. If you're in Indiana, the threat is very low regardless. It's present, but very low at this moment. So you're in Portage, northwestern Indiana. Just make sure you're staying indoors. That's about it. Heavy rain and some lightning is about it. Let's go back to our correct radar site if I can find it. Gracious. Oh, this is the correct radar site. It's just getting really far away. So there's your 4-inch hail report. Photo of 4-inch hail in Lancaster. Wow. That is very, very impressive. Radar estimates that this was, let's see. Let's see what radar thinks this hail was. I gotta find the right product. This one. Nope, not this one. There we go. So radar says that this was about 2.5-inch hail. But we are far from the radar, so that's inaccurate. It was actually dropping larger hail than that. 4-inch in diameter. So that's your new scan. If we're still seeing 4-inch hail, it would be barely off to the southwest of I keep saying drowning. It's Downing in northeastern Missouri. Going off to the southeast. So moving just like this. So this is going to stay barely east of Queen City, barely northeast of Green Top. At this moment, Downing is at the biggest risk for very large hail. And Memphis. Looks like it's going to go right in between most of these cities and towns here. This is, again, in northeastern Missouri. So we have 3 destructives for 1 storm. The reason for that is probably jurisdiction, I imagine. If we just check here, this was issued by the National Weather Service in Kansas City and Pleasant Hill, Missouri. This is probably St. Louis. I know this is Quad Cities in Iowa, actually. Yeah, St. Louis is way down here. What was I thinking? St. Louis is way down here. They don't issue warnings way up here. So that's Davenport's jurisdiction there. So that's why you have 3 warnings present. So again, we are at a life-threatening situation for Memphis, Downing, Queen City, Green Top, Worthington, Lancaster, out here in northeastern Missouri. Now, the storm for Downing, Lancaster, Queen City, Green Top, these 2 warnings here. This is warned for 4-inch hail, and this one's warned for 4-inch hail. This is warned for 2.75-inch hail at the moment. So the reason for that is because we don't have any new reports of larger hail in this general area. If we do see new reports of that, they will likely upgrade the polygon back to 4-inch hail. But at this moment, it's for 2.75-inch hail further to the east. But we're still at a warning for 4-inch hail over the Downing area, Queen City, Green Top, Lancaster. Make sure you guys are still in your safe spot. Even when the warning is lifted, make sure you're still indoors. Because this will have a lot of lightning activity with it. Let's see here. You shouldn't get anything rough in Portage. Just make sure you're staying indoors. You'll be fine. You're not in any warning yet. And the threat doesn't end until late tonight, so you want to remain hyperweather aware all the way till at least about 1 a.m. Central, right around 1 a.m. Central, because storms could still occur in the overnight hours. Just depends if these get going, which at the moment we are starting to see some rain showers getting going here, but they're definitely not exploding yet. And I don't expect them to, and for about another 2 hours or so. If they do, I'd be pretty surprised. Let's see here. HRRR still doesn't acknowledge that these storms are ongoing. It currently thinks they will fire off in an hour. So, just to let you know how useless models are day of. Models aren't picking up on this convection already ongoing. Doing good, Caleb. Difference between negative and positive lightning strikes. So let me think. I gotta think which one's which. One is definitely stronger and brighter as well as quicker than the other. So, let's see. I'm trying to think. I think it's the negative volts, or the negative lightning strikes that are worse. I believe. Let's see. I could just look it up. Nope, positive. Positive is more rare. Positive is stronger, rarer, and typically strikes quicker than negative. So this is still a destructive severe. These warnings expire. The first one for 4-inch hail expires in 14 minutes. The one over Lancaster expires in 44 minutes. Still warned for 4-inch hail. The one back out here in Memphis is warned for 2.75-inch hail. Expires in 59 minutes. And we got another one out here in Knox City that's warned for 2.5-inch hail for the next 59 minutes as well. This whole mess is in northeastern Missouri. And this just went destructive out here for Eldon and Flores, northeast of Bloomfield, in southeastern Iowa for 2.75-inch hail. So just a big old hail threat at this moment. Which it should stay that way, and slowly we should begin to transition into more of a wind threat. And we'll see what happens after that. We'll see what happens after that. So currently Connor is in central Iowa. He still has a good solid hour before he gets to these thunderstorms. He'll start to see them in about an hour, close to 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. But our chaser is pretty far out from these cells at the moment. They've fired a lot more to the east than anticipated. I can tell you that. We were expecting them to really fire up towards this area here, then make our way off to the southeast and be severe most of the time. They've really started to get going closer to this area. So a lot more off to the southeast. And these are our two main storms at the moment. We did just get another significant severe. A considerable severe has just been issued out here in east central Colorado, west central Kansas, for the potential of 70 mile an hour winds and 0.75-inch hail. So this is the first severe for 70 mile an hour winds, and it's not technically in the main risk. Yeah, I mean, it's in the slight risk area, but in my opinion, the main risk is the enhanced. That's for our main, well, I mean, that's not even just my opinion. I mean, that's the main risk. That's the level 3 risk, so. Yeah, anything that happens, I'm shocked we don't have a watch out here. What? Watch is possible. 40% chance for a severe watch to be issued in eastern Colorado, western Kansas, northwestern Texas, and the Panhandle, northeastern New Mexico, and the western Panhandle of Oklahoma. Isolated, widely scattered, strong to severe thunderstorms capable of damaging wind gusts in the next 1 to 3 hours. Pretty surprised we don't have a watch out here. Just continue that destructive severe for 2.75-inch hail out here for Birmingham, Libertyville, and Farmington. That is out here in southeastern Iowa. I wouldn't rule out additional development because these storms have fired so far out to the southeast. I wouldn't rule out more storms firing back out here again, because they've fired really far to the southeast. We'll see. We should eventually see more convection fire in 2 areas. There is uncertainty, but we should see more convection fire here and a lot of convection fire out here as well. Generally those 2 spots. And again, I wouldn't fully rule out additional storms in this region here, but we'll see. We shall see. If you're in Indiana, I really don't think this threat's going to do much of anything in Indiana today. It's going to probably be more the nocturnal threat if we get those storms to get going in the nocturnal hours. I should say more of late evening into the night hours. So again, here's a look at all of the radars in our main risks regions here. The top left one is out there at our enhanced risk region in northeastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa. The one in the middle left portion of your screen is going to be over Kansas City, where there's barely any convection. The bottom left is going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, where those storms are ongoing, being very severe in southeastern Iowa and northeastern Minnesota. The southeast, or I should say the bottom right quadrant screen, is going to be the main one for northwestern what is this? Indiana. So shouldn't see much out there. And then I don't even know where the heck that one in the right middle portion of the screen is. Where is that? Oh, that's in Topeka, Kansas. So that's the storms in central Kansas trying to get going. I was wondering where that was. I was like, I don't even know where that thing is. That thing's just out there. So that's all of your main radars at this moment. There are some storms ongoing in Michigan, but they're not the most interesting. We'll actually go take a look at those now. Let's go take a look at those in Michigan. Yeah, they're just very low in severes. They're not much. If you're in these severes in South Central Michigan, just make sure you are indoors, away from doors and windows. See how Canada's been. We have probably had a couple significant tornadoes out here in Canada today. In western Quebec. We have had multiple classic supercells. Actually, one ongoing now. Before that, we had this one ongoing. And then before that, this one was also a classic supercell. So we've had multiple very classic and ridiculous supercells out here in Canada. Let's see. And I also think that this is a very strong line of damaging winds. That is probably packing 70+ mile an hour winds with it. That would be a big issue if anyone's in the path of that. Because that is a very strong storm. Not doing much out here in Ontario. Let's see. Tomorrow? I don't think you guys are supposed to get storms tomorrow. Main risk tomorrow should be out in northwest Kansas, northeast Colorado, southwestern Nebraska, and as well as over the eastern mid-Atlantic and the eastern New England states out there, eastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, northern Delaware, central Maryland, extreme northern Virginia, Massachusetts, western Connecticut, northwest Rhode Island, southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont, southeastern New York. Main threat will be wind. I don't plan to cover tomorrow's threat. Let's see, what is tomorrow? Is tomorrow Friday? Thursday, Friday? Friday. Yeah, we'll probably be live tomorrow for a briefing for an hour or so. But I don't even know about that. I'm not going to make any promises on that. We'll see. We did just get one of our first severes here in Indiana. This is going to be northwest Indiana for the Roselaw Lake Village area, as well as in east central Illinois for barely outside of Grant Park. So if you're in this severe, nothing crazy. Just make sure you're indoors, away from doors and windows. That is it. You'll be perfectly fine. No need for other precautions unless you want to. Main thing, don't go running outside. I don't even know, Caleb. I don't even know. I don't even know, man. Let's see. I can't even find it. Where do you even find it? Yeah, I'm not even sure, actually. Let's see. Um, NatoCast has a 10 hatched up there. NatoCast has a 10 hatched in southwest Quebec. Wow. Yeah, Canada's the main issue for tornadoes today. I bet that 10 hatched is right over this tornadic storm. We're probably seeing some pretty big tornadoes out here in Quebec. Probably seeing some pretty big tornadoes out there. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, I don't see anything about their risks out there. Still under a severe for, I believe, 3-inch hail. Oh, nope, we got one for 4-inch hail still. For 4 more minutes. So that will expire very, very soon. Very soon. We'll be under destructive for most of this live stream. Most of this live stream, we're going to spend time on this overlay. Yay, fun. Also, this one's still warned for 2.75-inch hail out for the Libertyville area, Birmingham, southeast Iowa. Why is my monitor so sideways? There we go. Much better. All right, here is a look at the radar across the nation so far. Some rain showers in New Mexico, West Texas. Main issue is, of course, going to be where we have these watches out here in Missouri, Illinois, up towards Michigan. And we have additional very strong to significant storms ongoing in Canada now. These 3 prefrontals are capable of strong to, wouldn't even be surprised of violent tornadoes out here. And we also have a line of extremely strong damaging winds in Quebec as well. So really, really intense thunderstorms ongoing in Canada right now. I don't know if they're as intense hail-wise, but they are very significant for wind, as well as tornadoes. What time is 10 Eastern on Zulu? That is 10 Eastern is going to be 02Z. At least in this time. I don't even know what time we are. I think we're in standard time. I don't know. Get rid of that time change thing already. Time zone's very important. Time change, can we just get rid of it? Like, I don't think anybody asked for it. Let's see here. Will the end of June be active for severe weather or no? I don't know. I don't think I'm God, so I don't know if I can tell you that. I mean, I can look at model runs, but I can't properly see what's going to happen in the future. My guess, based on the pattern, yeah, it's going to be active. We plan for it to be an active northern Midwest and northern High Plains season. I still think the tornado threats are going to be minimal, though. Today, yesterday's threat were definitely notable for tornadoes. Yesterday was very notable. I think today could end up being notable, depending on what we see here. And we still have that risk for severe weather on their day 5 outlook, I believe. What is that for? Yeah, Monday. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Monday. Nope. Nope. I just don't see it. Now, if that risk area was for Tuesday, I'd be like, okay, makes a bit more sense, but it's not. There is definitely the risk for more significant severe weather next week, though. All this is warned for just a ridiculous amount of hail. We no longer have any warnings for 3+ inch hail. This is warned for 2.75 Lancaster, 2.75 Memphis, 2.75 up here south of Fairfield, 2.75. And both of these on the far southern edge are warned for 2.5 inch hail. So basically, if you're in any of these warnings, just stay indoors, away from doors and windows. This is in southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri. You can see Illinois' border is right here. Why is it still drawing? You'll see that clear here. So there you go. There's Illinois here, Iowa here, Missouri here. So we'll continue to watch these very, very significant thunderstorms. We've had reports of all the way from 1.75 inch hail to 4 inch hail out of these thunderstorms already. Connor is just taking a break. Bro is just not, he's not in a hurry. He's just chilling. He's just waiting. He must have good confidence in more thunderstorms firing. I'm interested. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's go back to our nationwide radar, and I actually want to look at the satellite here. I mean, it doesn't really look that interesting for additional storm development. That CU field is the only thing that I'm interested in at this moment. Really, at any given second, let me go ahead and pull this up. At any given second, we could see thunderstorms fire out here. Oop, let me get a... Out here, we could see thunderstorms fire at any second. Out here, we could see thunderstorms fire any second. Out here, we could see thunderstorms fire at any second. But it doesn't look like like it's going to fire at this moment. We could see it. It just doesn't look like it's going to fire. Big mess of large hail up here. They did just downgrade this storm in Birmingham down to just 1.75 inch hail, so that is a whole inch less for large hail. So we're at just 2 destructive severes now. Both are, of course, for hail. And they're in a perfect radar hole. Let's see. Welcome, random guy. Glad to see you in here. So we'll just continue to monitor it. Just a big hail threat at this time. Should eventually grow upscale into more of a wind threat as well as a slightly elevated tornado threat. But the tornado threat is very low. If you're really wanting to chase a tornado and see a tornado today, you're going to have to go to Canada. Because that seems to be where we have the potential for strong to maybe even an isolated violent tornado today. Which, I haven't seen any pictures of it, but I wouldn't be shocked if we've already had a violent tornado out here. I would not. With the 4-5 classic supercells I've seen out here, I mean, I just would not be surprised if somebody reported a mile wedge or something. It wouldn't surprise me, because it's very impressive. Actually, I know someone who's chasing up here. Let's see. I'm going to go to Quebec. Okay, let me get y'all back down to a radar site. Um. Oh, okay. There's their outlooks. Hold on. I may be able to find this. I may be able to find their outlook for today. Let's see. Let's do their severe weather outlook. Man, I'm telling you, going to these Canada outlooks make you really appreciate how the SPC does things. Because I just can't find it. Okay, they have warnings here, but that doesn't... I mean, you know, that's going to help, but I wanted to see the overall area. Anyways, how fast are they moving? I mean, if you're talking about these in particular, 35, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Those are the storms northeastern Missouri. We did have another tropical update. Seems like everything stayed the same on that 2 p.m. advisory, which was a while ago. We already checked that. I think the next one is 8 p.m. I think. I think 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm not too sure. Today's threat, once again, just a big, a very big hail threat. And later down the line should turn into a very large wind threat as well. We'll see. We'll see if that happens. What does the European have for severe weather? Yeah, honestly, I don't know why their 15% is so far north. Let me look at their 15% for day 5, which is Monday. I mean, it's all the way up in Minnesota. The main place I see severe weather being possible, which let me see if the GFS has it. It's wherever the cap lifts, which looks to be central Nebraska. We'll wait till we get closer, but I'm not too sure about that 15%. I'm skeptical of it. We'll see, though. We'll be there before you know it and figure out if we're going to see anything. We're still at a destructive severe for about 37 more minutes or so. For a very large hail. This one actually got upgraded, I believe. Yeah. So this one out here, Bloomfield, is that Stiles, southeastern Iowa. Y'all need to be seeking shelter. That is a new destructive severe for 2.75-inch hail. That one's still 2.5 or 2.75, yeah. So this one's also 2.75 south of Memphis now, and northeastern Missouri. So just crazy, very large hail. That's just the main story right now is very crazy large hail. And I don't see any signs of additional initiation anywhere in northern Missouri or anywhere in Iowa or Illinois. I believe it. I believe it. It happens. It definitely happens. Where we have like 2-inch hail, not but a mile west, and then once you go 1 more mile, you see a 4-inch hailstone. Sorry, I had to grab something real quick. Let's go back up to Canada. Wish we had better radars up here. It'd be really great. And also better definitions here as well. Very strong wind gust. Very strong wind gust. See, that doesn't really give you an idea of what to anticipate up here. Because just from the reflectivity, this thing looks very, very ridiculous. We'll see. I want to keep an eye on that. I keep going over there because I just find that really interesting. This is just a clustering mess. Same ordeal yesterday. No imminent tornado threat at this moment, but it could, eventually materialize into a tornado threat. Yes, new mesoscale discussion. That's going to be out here in... There you go. Central Kansas, where we're seeing those additional storms fire for the potential of 1.75 to about 2.5 inch hail, 65 to 80 mile per hour winds possible as well. Severe watch will most likely be issued shortly out here. So we'll see if we get a watch if you're out there. Pratt, Dodge City, Hayes, Grape Bend, Salina, Manhattan, Concordia, in Kansas, even all the way up to Beat Rice and Fairbury in southeastern Nebraska. Could get a severe watch shortly there. They said, let's see, did they say when? I imagine if they're going to issue it, it's going to be in about an hour or less, because those storms are already getting going here. All right, let me go back over here. Over to this. Alrighty. Back to our destructive severes still. Just not the best radar coverage, which is why I don't stay on them for too long. They're all still warned for 2.75 inch hail south of Memphis. Another one in Downing again, northeastern Missouri. Southeastern Iowa out here in Bloomfield. Also in a severe warning for 2.75 inch hail. Those orange warnings are all PDS, life-threatening situations for very large hail. I wonder if, you know what, we probably maybe have cameras out here. See if we've got cameras out in this area. This is far northeastern Missouri, so I don't know. I don't think so. Let me look at Iowa. Let's see. We have one camera in southeast Iowa, and I believe these storms have already gone through it. Yep. And it's a very weird camera, too. It wouldn't be that useful. Yeah, it's somewhere out in here we have a camera. But storms have already passed that, so we don't have any visual from cameras. Connor, which is our chaser, he is still just waiting. Still just waiting. Maybe he's anticipating more storm development. I don't know if we'll see that. Let's see. CPC just updated, which is the Climate Prediction Center. Want to show you all this. For those of you who love hot weather, they just updated their heat advisories, or I should say their heat outlook, and it's still there. Still there. So that's fun. And they haven't changed that tropical thing at all. That's good. Seems like Connor is expecting more storms to fire. Huh. Interesting. So Connor's expecting storms to get going, and, hey. Maybe. Maybe. We might actually have a, more storms here. Look at that. Looks like we are starting to see some storms getting going, and this is firing like right next to Connor. He's where? He's right at my cursor. There's Connor, right at my cursor. Storms are firing up here. Wow. So that's going to be our additional storms. But my question is, let me check this. 21Z, 21Z. I wonder how much of the environment these storms used, because you know they had to use at least some of the environment. So it looks like this is going to be our main event, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to be able to top 4-inch hail. Let me go back to satellite. Let's look at satellite together. This is a model run. Ignore that. Let's turn to satellite imagery. Go to our true color mesosectors. I mean, you don't see too much getting going just yet out there in Iowa. In southern Iowa. Obviously, you have this explosion of destructive storms. But it seems like most of the chasers are very confident in this area convecting. Which I don't blame them, because, I mean, we could definitely see storms fire off right there. Probably right at that notch right here is where we're watching the most for storms to really get going. Also see that little line? It goes just like this. That's where your main storms are firing. You've got that line right through here. Ooh, actually, I drew that wrong. There you go. Right through there. That's your main area of storm development right now. Anything more north than that, I don't think we'll see much anywhere north of this line. But the area that I am questioning is if we'll see things fire here. Right in here. Because there's this little... I don't know if I'd call it a boundary. We're just going to call it a line of clouds. There's a line of clouds that's here moving to the southeast, and this pink area is favorable still for severe weather. So we'll watch that area right here for more storms to develop in about probably a little less than 2 hours or so. Models are saying like 8, 9. I'm saying closer to 7. Closer to 7. 7 or 8 Eastern time. Let's see. So again, just make sure you guys are staying in your safe spot if you're in any of these orange polygons here. So this includes like the South Jordan area, Rutledge, as well as Queen City, Lancaster out here in northeastern Missouri for the potential of 2.75-inch hail. Still warned for 2.75-inch hail. This is, the longer these storms go on, most likely the bigger issue it's going to be for the environment. So if this does continue any longer, there's a chance that the environment's going to just continue to be worse and worse in terms of our additional storms firing back towards southwest Iowa, towards Creston. So Connor and other chasers are anticipating storms to fire in this region here. They are starting to go. They don't look impressive at the moment by any means, but apparently we're anticipating more convection back there. They are currently playing football. They got so bored of waiting. They're playing football. Man. Yeah, I don't worry. I've looked at mesoanalysis. I want to wait for the new one, though, in 30 minutes. We did just get an upgrade to this storm in Birmingham, I believe. Nope. That's still warned for 2-inch hail. Yep, still warned for 2-inch hail. You know what? That may be an upgrade. Yeah, it was one for 1.5-inch hail, and now it's one for 2. So just a mess of large hail at the moment, dead center of our enhanced risk for severe weather. This was not anticipated, actually. We were not anticipating these thunderstorms, so that's Mother Nature for you. That is Mother Nature for you. These are technically prefrontals. If we look at our surface analysis, which I don't know if we have it on this program. Let's see. I know we have it here. Surface fronts. There's your surface fronts. The cold front's definitely more south than that. It'd be nice if this said when this was observed here. So this was as of 18Z, I think. No, that is incorrect. This was as of, geez, not even 18Z. This isn't up. This does not update every 3 hours, man. This was as of 15Z, which is what, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 1 p.m., 11 a.m., I believe, Eastern. So this was as of 11 a.m., my word. So your cold front is very far south. It's probably closer to this area here. Not all the way back up here. So this is just really a hail threat at the moment. That's really the main risk and almost the only risk these storms pose here. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to look at mesoanalysis to see what it shows for these storms back out here towards Creston. I mean, they're in a really favorable environment. If they can get going, they are going to be very explosive. We'll see. Wow. That is a really solid environment. Gracious. What's the lacking ingredient, though? Definitely not instability or mid-level lapse rates. What about lower level lapse rates? Where'd you go, lower level lapse rates? There you are. They could be a bit of a lacking. A bit of a bust mode, per se, in southwestern Iowa. But shouldn't be that big of an issue. We have other things that will compensate for those lower level lapse rates being low. Whoa, what did I just click? That is something. I didn't know you could do overlays on mesoanalysis. Oh, I just remembered we can do those weird sounding almost type things. Let's pull it right out in front of where those storms are firing. So here you go. This is as of the 21Z mesoanalysis. Which one do we... Oh, there you go. So plenty of instability. Not an issue at all. Lapse rates. Lower level lapse rates are low, but they'll do. Lower level wind shear is extremely low as expected. But really good environment for very large hail. And most likely damaging winds as well. Definitely very large hail. Definitely very large hail. No wonder why we had 4-inch hail out there. Your area is not even going to have any values. There's no instability out there. I just did it off screen. Are we still at destructive? Yep, still at destructive for 5 more minutes. And once that gets canceled, we'll be down to a considerable. Or actually, we'll go down to normal. Yeah, the thumbnail is just a rough estimate of where the risk is. It doesn't mean much. It's a rough estimate of where the risk is. There's your new severe watch. Wow, that's a big severe watch. That's all the way from Garden City through Wichita through Hayes out there in Kansas. So that's a large severe watch. I imagine that has decent probabilities considering how big it is. Lord have mercy. That is very high probabilities for wind. Very high probabilities for wind. A 80-70. Jeez. 90 mile an hour winds possible. 85 mile an hour winds likely. Gracious. That is some enhanced risk wording right there. That is something. Wasn't expecting that high end of a wind threat out there. So that is a double high for not only damaging winds, but significant damaging winds out there on the watch probabilities. Go ahead and take this back over here. All right, let me check our... Oops, I got to keep that up. Yeah, so these all just got disextended and canceled, so that should bring us down to a normal severe, which we'll just switch on over to this scene for the moment. Yeah, that says 90 mile an hour winds possible. Well, 85 mile an hour winds likely, I should say, which means 90 will be possible. A new severe thunderstorm warning. You can see that on the bottom right portion of the screen. We just got an observed report of 60 mile an hour winds. So radar indicated 60 mile an hour wind. Severe thunderstorm warning here, even though we have a report of 60. That's going to be for the Bristol area. Elkhart as well in north central Indiana, south, extreme southwestern Michigan. So we'll watch that closely. Just to see if anything develops out of it. Go ahead and refresh this. Yeah, I'm not seeing those really going yet in Iowa. Let me switch all over to this. So above my face cam is the current meso analysis, or not meso analysis, my bad. The current satellite imagery from the meso scale sector. That's what I was trying to say. So there's your explosive storm, southeastern Iowa, western Illinois, northeastern Missouri. We're keeping an eye over here for additional storm development, but not much is happening. Let's see. Rushville, Illinois. Let me see. Definitely want to keep an eye out for severe storms. There's a cluster of storms heading your way right now. They'll be in your area in probably around the realms of 2 hours. They're moving east-southeast at about... Well, now they're moving at 20. Gracious day. If they continue at that rate, it's going to be more like 3 hours. But I would be ready for thunderstorms about 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Definitely a lot more of a hail threat and a wind threat. Tornadoes will be possible, but tornadoes will be the lowest potential. Main threat by far is going to be your hail and wind. Alright, I'm going to put y'all over to this scene here just so I can see the chasers real quick. Oh, they canceled your baseball game. Now, why would they do that, Caleb? Why would they do that? Why would they cancel your baseball game? We need Caleb to go play baseball. Look at this classic supercell out here in Quebec. Very classic. Very, very classic supercell. That is most likely producing a tornado. And you may be looking at this and being, oh, is that unwarned? No, you want to know where your tornado warning is for this storm? There's your tornado warning. This red box, this big red box here is for this storm. Right there. Tiny storm, massive warning. I assume this warning is for this storm. So tiny storm, massive warning. To put that in perspective to the US warnings, let's just use Kansas, for instance. Here's your storm. There's your storm. There's your warning out there in Grove City, Kansas, which is 1.25 inch hail, 60 mile-an-hour winds. 2024 has been crazy for bad weather. Yeah, it is the second most active April and May period on record. Or is it fourth? I think it's fourth. I think it's fourth. It's fourth. Because 2019 was third. And then I think... Ooh, what beat it? 2003, I want to say. I want to say 2003 was the most active May-April period. But the second most active April is what I was going to say. This year is the second most active April on record. It's the fourth most active April and May combined on record. Yeah, these storms are barely doing anything. They're doing nothing. So, we'll see. But there doesn't look to be a whole lot here. These are also starting to weaken, so these might not make it all the way to you, Dusty. They're not looking too well at the moment, so hopefully it continues like that. If they continue like that, it's going to be good for people in Illinois, but it's also going to be bad. The reason why it would be good is storms die out. The reason why it would be bad is because if these storms keep going, they're going to use up the environment. So your main event is back here, and if these storms keep doing what they're doing, they're going to use up most of the ingredients. So they've already used up ingredients in this whole area here. So when these storms make it over to that region, they should be at least a little bit weaker. Now, that's why I'm waiting for the about 6:10 Eastern meso analysis, so I can see how much of the environment these storms used up. They may have used up, only a fourth of the energy out here, or they may have used up most of it like the storms did yesterday in southern Minnesota. So we'll wait for the new meso analysis, which is basically like, it's pretty much like observations, really. The cluster was not anticipated, Slug. The cluster was not anticipated. This cluster might have killed a bit of our severe threat. I'm unsure. We don't know how the rest of the day is going to play out, because models didn't account for this morning, or not morning, but very significant prefrontal supercells here for at least hail and some wind. So I don't know. This might not have impacted the environment to the point where we could see our lines still form back here and be a big issue. Or it may have impacted the environment so much to the point that these storms can't even fire. I mean, look at this. Just a little rain shower. We had a couple rain showers beginning to go, and then whoop, gone. So I'm not sure. But this is our line of initiation pretty much right here. It actually goes a bit more like this. I drew it just a moment ago. So that's generally your line of initiation here. So I don't know what's going to happen in Davenport either. Before I was anticipating storms to fire close to 7, 8 o'clock in Davenport. I still think that's a possibility. But I don't know. These morning storms have most likely influenced the cold front as well. I imagine at least a bit in terms of the position of the cold front. Because if our cold front's further down to the south like this, per se, storms are going to fire in Davenport. But if it's here, if it's generally here, storms can't fire north of the cold front. I mean, they can. They just shouldn't be severe or anything crazy. So, I don't know. It depends on where that cold front is, and it also depends on what the environment looks like out here once we get our observations in about 20 minutes. Okay, let me go to... Oops. Yeah, Connor just pointed that out too. These storms up here in Iowa may not get going until Missouri. Because of the not only the environment but also the position of the cold front too. I would love to have just a surface analysis that updates every like 10 minutes, or shoot, even every other hour, every 2-hour surface analysis updates would be great. Surface fronts, because we only get them like at the most once every 3 hours. It's dumb. It's dumb. It is dumb. Because if that cold front, like I said, if that cold front's here, the NAM model is going to be correct with nothing firing in this area being severe. But if the cold front is where, surface analysis has it right now, then it would be right in here, which would definitely allow for thunderstorms to fire in Davenport and in southern Iowa, northwestern Missouri. But that analysis was, what, almost 4 hours ago now? 18Z, 19Z, 20Z, 21Z. Oh, yeah, almost 4 hours ago. I had to make sure I was correct. Updates every 3 hours, my foot. That's some big hail right there, Slug. 93/70 is favorable of hail. Depending on other ingredients, but most likely hail. Let's see. There is a site that updates surface analysis every like 15 minutes, but I don't know where I put it. That's Mesoanalysis Archives. That is Radar Archives. That is Aurora Forecast. This is a random model run. This one is CSU. I didn't know I had that pinned. CSU has like a 2% tour today. Barely anything. Let me see. I want to see what CSU has for day 4. Yep, CSU has Central Nebraska being the main threat for the day 4 time frame. And day 5, same thing. In Nebraska, maybe even into Iowa. Which the National Weather Service has, like, northern Missouri, or not Missouri, northern Minnesota to southern Minnesota being pretty much the main threat. All right, back on track now. Is this your surface analysis? Nope. This is what happens when I don't organize things. I just click on all the links in my folder until I get the right one. Oh, this is it. Yep. I recognized the name. Let's go over to here. Oh, okay. Well, that really helps. That really helps. So the cold front, according to this, which was updated, get this, only 10 minutes ago, the cold front is positioned, it's a slightly difficult to tell, but it is located around Davenport, pointing south towards Missouri, going just around this vicinity, and then turning south like this, and I can't see past that because the map only goes like that far. And this goes more up to the northeast like this, generally. So, yeah, the main thing is the cold front's right over Davenport and over southern Iowa. So if initiation is going to occur, it's going to have to be over Davenport, pointing towards northern Missouri. That general area is where storms have to fire. At least according to this surface analysis. Yep. Let me look at the 500 millibar. Okay. Okay. Let me go and close all this stuff out now that I found it. So we'll continue to watch these rain showers try to spark up. But they don't seem to be doing too well at the moment. Yeah, they just extended that watch west of Chicago. So if storms are going to fire, it's going to have to be right along that cold front. Like I said, generally around Davenport. So they don't expect any convection firing up here. If we see any storms, they should fire in Davenport, moving to the southeast later tonight. And then our other area is off your screen. There's a few regions to watch. Few areas to watch. One is up here at Davenport, like I said. Another area is back out here. And, of course, our other storms here. So there's 3 regions here. I have one single hair? I do. All right. Let's see. Still no new mesoanalysis, which should be in very shortly. All right. I'm going to switch back to the Des Moines radar. So these storms are weakening quite quickly, actually. They've gone from producing 4-inch hail down to, some of these are now down to 1-inch hail. And some are actually sub-severe, not even severe warned anymore. So at the moment, this threat is decreasing quite rapidly. That morning, I keep calling it morning convection, my word. This unanticipated convection might have ruined the severe threat here. Yeah, the new HRRR no longer has many storms firing in southern Iowa. I don't know if those are going to get going. Honestly, I don't think so. Those prefrontals have probably killed most of the threat. So, main area to watch may actually be Kansas now. This may be our main risk outside of the enhanced. So honestly, if I was chasing this, I would be debating moving into central Kansas. I would be debating moving into central Kansas. Looks like we still could see an isolated thunderstorms towards Davenport, Iowa. But they don't. I don't think they're going to be that interesting because the cold front is progressing pretty far to the south. So you'll most likely still have a few thunderstorms in this area, but I don't think they'll be as significant as what they could have been. At least from what I'm seeing, but of course it hasn't occurred, so we'll see. We will see. We'll just watch it closely. And we'll be here for a bit longer to see if anything does occur. I'm almost thinking of just going monitor mode. Because of those prefrontals. I am almost debating just going monitoring mode. Because those prefrontals have most likely killed this whole area for a severe threat. We still will have a present severe threat in this area because the atmosphere will probably have enough time to recover. The cold front's progressing far to the south, so I don't expect much. Still going to have a severe threat out here, but I don't think it's going to be as high anywhere in the enhanced risk. I'm more interested now in actually this area. Because that area now looks way better. Uncapped 5,500 instability will lead to extremely rapid development once that cold front can push a little bit more to the south. We should have very, very rapid and intense thunderstorm development here, probably west of Kansas City. So I think there's 2 areas to watch tonight, or for the rest of this risk. One area here, and I think the main region's now, again, outside the enhanced, back out here. In the middle, I feel like those prefrontals have killed the threat. There's definitely a risk for isolated thunderstorms here, 100%. But probably not talking about 90-mile-an-hour winds in the enhanced risk anymore. If we're going to see 90-mile-an-hour winds today, it's going to probably come from this area. So we'll see. We've already seen 4-inch hail. I don't think we've seen 70-mile-an-hour winds just yet. Our main wind threat should be between 8 p.m. Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, that is correct. Between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern, right around there. Okay. Yeah. Those prefrontals have literally, Connor has just acknowledged it. He just said literally, I might have messed up because I don't think we're gonna see much out here. Connor is going that way as well. The reason why is the mixture of the rapidly moving south cold front, thanks to the prefrontals, and the worse environment. Guess what? Thanks to the prefrontals. So, surprise! Your threat's even lower than we originally thought. We are down to just one significant severe. Oh, we're not even at a significant severe anymore. We are down to normal severes. We are down to a normal, just normal severes. Wow. That is impressive. I am impressed. Those prefrontals have just demolished the threat. Wow. My word. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, normally the prefrontals are the ones that produce the stupid stuff, like the Barnes, what is it, Barnsdale? That tornado in Oklahoma. There's been multiple prefrontals this year that just decide to ruin the threat. It's like, yeah, the threat's not as big as we thought. It's not that big of a tornado threat. And then boom, here comes the supercell prefrontal from the south. Oh, now you got 4 strong tornadoes. So that's happened like 2 or 3 times this year, at least. At least. Really glad we went live a bit earlier. Definitely a fantastic call to go live early. Let me go check this real quick. Okay. I want to wait for mesoanalysis still, because I want to see how much of the environment has been used up. Yeah, I don't know what whenever you do a period without a space. So Dusty, what you did is confused dot lol instead of confused space lol. Nightbot thinks that's a link because it thinks you're trying to say .com. I don't know why. I don't know why. So, yeah, that's just Nightbot for you. spc.noah.com. You put the C is capitalized, but there you go. C. Well, it fuss at me. LOL dot Nightbot. See if it fusses at me. That'd be great if it fussed at me. It's not gonna fuss at me because I'm the owner. I can ban you in a second, Nightbot. Oh, we are back at a significant severe. There's now a considerable severe for 1.75-inch hail out here north of Kirksville for Queen City in north central Missouri. Oh my word, it actually got JD. It got JD. Cat.lol. It got him. That's crazy. Oh man. I saw for a second, it's like that was crazy. Man. Alright, I'm gonna go back and check on Canada. Gracious day. Still a crazy supercell ongoing up here. Would not be shocked at all if that's a big tornado happening. Oh, it got legacy. Yeah, this stuff still is going crazy up here in Canada. Potential for a tornado to be on the ground at any second, if not on the ground, for these 3 areas in Quebec, Canada. This might be one of the most notable tornado threats in Canada I've seen in a hot minute. So, what's Connor's plan? I don't know, because that prefrontal just completely screwed him over. That prefrontal just said, hey, no storms for you. So, I don't know what his plan is now. I'm waiting for the new mesoanalysis once again. Just waiting. Just waiting. Yeah, honestly, if I was in Connor's location right now, which is Davis City, near Davis City, yep. like right here along I-35. There's really only one thing you could do, and that is take I-35 all the way till I-437 towards I-70, and just get as close as you can to Salina, Kansas for 2 hours. That's like all you can do because models don't have anything initiating up here. There's a chance for a storm to fire once these rain showers get towards Kirksville. They may go up towards 8, 9 o'clock tonight Eastern time. But your best bet is probably going to be out here towards Salina, Manhattan, in Kansas, if you could make it. So the other, at least at minimum, 6 chasers that I saw that stayed for this threat out here along the I-35 corridor, they're, I don't know what they're gonna do. We'll see. Like I said, there's really 2 options, and that would be risk it, stay near Kirksville to see if these storms develop once they go towards northern Missouri towards 8, 9 p.m. tonight Eastern time, or go as far south and as west as you can and try to make it to Manhattan and Salina in Kansas. So we'll see. I can tell you right off the bat, today is not planned out nearly how I anticipated. And yesterday did the exact same thing. These have been 2 of the strangest events I've tracked in 2024 so far. So, the good news is that there hasn't been much severe weather or much tornadic activity, I should say, that Connor's missed out on today. So, I mean, we got what? At least 1 tornado yesterday. And today, I don't think he's going to be able to get a tornado, not because there won't be one, but he's probably in the wrong area, unfortunately, and there probably won't be a tornado. I'd be pretty surprised if we get a tornado tonight. The main threat, according to the HRRR, and partially the NAM, should be right on top of the I-70 corridor from Hayes and Russell, Kansas, back towards Lawrence, Holton, and east of Topeka. So that should be our main area for severe weather today in terms of wind. Main wind threat looks to be out here. Main hail threat has already occurred. Main tornado threat is completely up in the air, and nobody has any clue if we'll see tornadoes tonight. Regardless, it's a low chance. We have such a large 5%, but I don't believe we're going to see much convection on the west extent of that. So, let's see here. Let me go back up here. Wow. So we'll continue to keep an eye on this. These storms in Quebec, because they are popping off like crazy. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. That's something. This is probably over, like, mainly completely rural areas. I don't really think that's much civilization out there. It's out here. Yeah, Canada's the main issue today. I said that at the beginning of the stream, and I still stand by it. NATOcast has a 10 sig Tor prob up there, and it is already definitely verified. Most likely an intense tornado, either about to occur or occurring out here in Quebec, Canada. All right, let's go back down here. I was just about to say, I wouldn't be shocked if this goes for 70-mile-an-hour winds. So this is now warned for 70-mile-an-hour winds here for the next 60 minutes northwest of Dodge City. We've got a pretty intense pocket right in between the outflow boundary and the precipitation core. That could be producing 70-mile-an-hour winds here to the northwest of Dodge City, Kansas. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And it doesn't look like these storms used up too much of the environment out here in Iowa, but the cold front has draped considerably further to the south. The cold front is now, on the new mesoanalysis, which just occurred, is from Chicago back towards southern Iowa into northern Kansas, and then it goes a little bit further south and then dips further to the west. So there's your cold front. I know before I had it like this, but that's your actual cold front because that's on the surface analysis as well. So there you go. Wow. That's a little bit more to the north. It's not as far south into Missouri. I will retry that. It's more like this, and then a little bit into Iowa, and then it drapes southeast. There you go. There you go. There you go. And your low pressure, I think, is around the Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas border, and Iowa as well. So there's your cold front. That's why you have storms here, because you have that notch. So the cold front can't be like this, because then you wouldn't have storms attempting to fire. So once these rain showers go a bit more south towards Kirksville, I think they'll have an opportunity to become severe and pretty strong in about an hour and a half or so. But we'll see. Kansas has definitely got a lot of a very favorable environment. Wow. Yeah, most favorable environment is definitely in Kansas. So that's the main area, like I said, right along the I-70 corridor. I still think development's going to be possible behind the cold front towards Davenport later today. I just don't think it's going to be significant at all. I think we'll see a few severes. Can't fully rule out a significant severe for wind or hail, but it doesn't look nearly as interesting as what it did an hour ago in terms of potential. Let's see. So we'll continue to watch this, and just make sure you guys are staying weather way out there. We got another considerable severe. I was looking for that. Out here for Sharon Springs, Wallace for 26 more minutes. So we'll keep an eye on that. This still is heading towards you there, Caleb. This might actually get to you. Wow. This might actually make it to Caleb. Now that I've said that, it won't. It will die like 30 minutes to his west, maybe an hour. So we'll continue to watch this, y'all. And see what happens. I am considering ending the stream, but I feel like these storms in Kansas are going to be significant enough to cover. So if you guys haven't already, we're still going to continue at minimum, the minimum, 55 more minutes at least, because we do 3 hours for an enhanced risk unless it busts hardcore. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, share this stream with as many people as you can. We're 21 likes off of the goal today. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. You don't have to, but if you want to come back, make sure you subscribe. That way you'll be notified when I go live or upload a video. Let me go back over to this. Okay. Let me go back over to the GR Earth program here. Are these considerable? Because it keeps saying they are. No. Oh, wow. That one just went toward possible. How the heck is that thing? Oh. It'd be great if we had a, you know, a radar. Either Sunday night or Monday. And definitely Monday, but it could be Sunday night. Actually, we're not going to be stopping tomorrow. Tomorrow, which is Friday. Saturday will probably be the lowest day, but still a severe threat. Sunday will probably be a low threat, but still a severe threat. Monday will be a severe threat. Tuesday looks to be a severe threat. Wednesday looks to be a severe threat. Thursday looks to be a severe threat. So I don't think we'll be ending anytime soon in terms of the severe weather potential for June. Wow. So let me go over to this really quick. Okay. I'm trying to see what this storm's doing from chasers, so that's why I've gone slightly quiet. Okay, we do have a chaser on this. At the moment, it looks like mainly a wind threat to a hail threat. I know another chaser who's on this as well. Let me go back to this chaser, see if he has it. I assume, yep, he's in a radar hole, or not a radar hole, but a radar. He's in a cellular data hole. A dead zone for cell reception. He's in a radar hole too. I mean, I'm not wrong with that. Man. That's your only chance for a storm to get going in near Kurtzville in northeastern Missouri. So if we're wanting another storm to fire in Iowa, northeastern Missouri, that's going to be the storm to do it. So most of your chasers are back out towards the I-35 corridor. Just about 3 or 4 chasers I know followed these storms going into western Illinois now. The majority of your chasers are in Iowa, trying to figure out if they want to go for Kansas, if they want to go for Illinois, or if they just want to go elsewhere for tomorrow's threat, maybe up in Colorado. Or just go all the way up towards Nebraska for Monday's threat. Let me see here. So again, this is a tour possible severe. So if you're in Lewistown, northeastern Missouri, you need to be indoors, away from doors and windows, close to your safe spot. Just in case we manage to see a tornado warning out of this, which would be, it would have to be from reports because we don't have any type of radar coverage out here. So just make sure that you are indoors, away from doors and windows if you are out here in Lewistown. That's west of Canton in northeastern Missouri. New severe in northwestern Indiana. The other one was expired, by the way. This is one for 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds here in the Wheatfield area. Well to the southeast of, or well to the south of Chesterton, northwestern Indiana. Back up to Canada. Yep, just normal crazy tornadoes happening up here. A really nice classic supercell here, producing most likely a tornado over rural regions. So we'll see what that ends up doing. New tornado warning out here in, I think this is Ontario now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is in Ontario for an area rotation generally in this area, which the velocities show it way back here. That's because they're 10 minutes behind. So just follow that and then boom. Now you know that it's right here. So that's a new warning. One of my friends are chasing out there, but I don't know where he is at all. But he is out there. Now warned for 1.75-inch hail out here in Ness City and Alexandria, Kansas. So these storms in Kansas are definitely going. They're most of our considerables are out here in Kansas. Let's go back up here. So that expires in 3 minutes. So, yeah, at the moment, the main issue is Kansas, which is not in the main risk by any means. They are pretty far from that enhanced out there in central Kansas. Yeah, I don't think Connor's going to see anything today. He targeted the right area, but with those prefrontals that fired, he stayed in the wrong area. So he targeted the right area, but he committed too much to one target region, which typically with Connor, it pays off a lot. Most of the time, if Connor commits to one area, he's completely right about it. I think this might be the first time I've ever seen Connor wrong before. And it's thanks to prefrontals. Because typically Connor is very close to tornadic storms and at least severe storms by now. So this might be the first time I've ever seen Connor not in the best position for an intercept anytime soon. But then again, 90% of the other chasers are there as well. All right. Let's go ahead and get an overview once again. We'll switch back to this scene. Let's go through all of our radars. So this is the one at the bottom left, Des Moines, Iowa's radar site. We are actually about to move this. We'll keep it here a bit longer, but we'll keep that one. We'll just keep it there for now. Then we have one up in Chicago, which I guess we'll keep that there, and then we really don't need it. One in Kansas, we need that. Missouri, if I switch these, I don't know if they are going to do a black screen or not. It looks like they're not, so okay, that is really good, because this is a new scene that I haven't tried out often. So it didn't black screen that one. So in that case, I'm going to still keep this radar here. The one in Illinois, I'm just going to go ahead and move towards the Lincoln radar site in Illinois, because those storms are already close enough to the point that I would want to keep an eye on them. Iowa here. So those two at the far bottom, the one on the bottom right is the radar site in Illinois, central Illinois. The one at the bottom left is the one in Des Moines, Iowa. Both are looking at the exact same area. And then, of course, the one in the right central portion of your screen, that's in Topeka, looking west of Topeka out there towards the Minneapolis area in partially northeastern Kansas, central Kansas, on what I believe will be the main issue today. And then the radar site in the left middle portion of your screen is going to be in Dodge City now, where we're seeing a lot of significant wind gusts and damaging winds and isolated small to large hail as well. Top right, or actually top left, is going to be GR Earth. We'll switch that to the enhanced risk. That's how we look at the nation radar site there. And then, of course, we have Radar Omega at the top right, which I just move that wherever I want, whenever I want. It's handy for looking at severe storms and then figuring out if I need to pay attention to them closer with the with my analysis tool or not. All right. So we're still going to be monitoring this threat here. Connor is now in northern Missouri, so that's good. He's getting there. He's in northwest Missouri. We'll switch back to our severe warning. So these are the storms that I'm most interested in at the moment. Anything that fires up in this area. They are really starting to get going. That's where our main threat should be today. I know we have an enhanced risk back out here, but I don't see much potential in that enhanced risk anymore. Still definitely going to have a couple severes. A couple significant severes will also be a possibility, but I don't see that being a as big of a threat as what was originally anticipated. We definitely did have 4-inch hail, though. Just not from the storms we thought. So those out there in Iowa, northeastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, west central Illinois are in the perfect radar hole now. Dead center of the radar hole. We do have the Davenport radar, but I don't think that's going to be much use except for that new severe that was just issued out there for the Mediapolis. The ripoff of Minneapolis is Mediapolis in east central Iowa out here in Mount Pleasant as well. It's warned for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds, so make sure you guys are indoors away from doors and windows. Severe watch is possible in the Panhandle, I think. Yep, Panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. 60% chance for a watch to be issued shortly. Main risk will be damaging wind gusts with downdrafts. And thunderstorm development is ongoing in the Panhandles of Texas and Oklahoma at this moment. Potential for a severe watch is being considered. So severe watch is being considered out there. Which, again, if you didn't see where that was, Perryton, Canadian, Pampa, Amarillo, Guyman, Woodward, all inside that MCD for a 60% chance of a watch being issued shortly. Which, I don't know if they're going to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Main storm at the moment is our radar hole storm out here in Lewistown. If you're in Lewistown, northeastern Missouri, you just saw a new warning get issued there. Make sure you are indoors, away from doors and windows, close to your safe spot, as it is possible. So this thing could produce a tornado. That new warning you saw briefly get issued, the new warning is for 70. That is our first, I believe, 70-mile-an-hour wind severe in the enhanced risk. Also for 1.75-inch hail. No longer possible on that new severe. So once that old one expires in 11 minutes, this storm will no longer be possible. Let's see. That brought me to Indiana. I don't know why. Oh, that is right in Illinois. Yeah, no, you're not in the risk area. Do I think some severes can make it? Definitely not. Will rain be possible overnight? Yes, but that's about it. I think you could see some rain showers tomorrow morning. Close to about 6 a.m. Eastern. Or 6 a.m. Central. You're welcome. Storms may not get to you, Caleb. They'll get to you. I just don't know if they'll be significant by the time they get there. They're lasting a while. They're managing to hold on at the moment. Which models had this stuff being not present. So I think they'll get to you tonight close to about 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern. So 7 p.m. your time. About an hour and a half. Will they be severe? I don't know. I don't know. But at the moment, it's just a hot mess of severes all over the place in Kansas. We got severes left, right, center, moving northeast, southeast, east. Wouldn't be surprised if we get one moving west in a second. We got them going all sorts of directions out here. This one's moving east. This one's moving northeast. This is moving southeast, southeast, east, southeast, 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 east, southeast. We just got to get one moving west and then we'll complete. Any moving west out here? I don't see anything moving west. But they're going all sorts of directions. Same here, Chip. I've got two of them. Two of them with trash cameras. I've got two drones, both trash with the camera. So, I don't plan on buying a new one anytime soon, though. It'd probably be a good investment, but I don't know. I don't really want one. Don't really want one. I already tried them, and they're just not something that I want at the moment. Let's see. Let's go back to our storm in Iowa. They just rain. There's not much more to them. They're moving into Missouri now. So we'll just continue to watch these as they move off to the southeast. Most of them are severe. So we'll just keep an eye on it. Let's go back to Canada. See if we're seeing anything. Oh, yep, just another big tornado developing or possibly on the ground out here. You know, just Quebec things. Big hook here, classic supercell. Classic supercell. Just normal Quebec tornadoes. I don't know what risk they have out here. I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. I can look again. Let's see. From what I see, they have a level 2 out of 4 out here. But I don't know if that's the latest update. I feel like it's not. I feel like that's not right. Yes, of course I know they have tornado warnings out there. Let's see. Yeah, I can't tell. Okay. What's happened today? Well, we've had prefrontals that weren't expected that completely destroyed the main severe threat, but those prefrontals ended up producing 70-mile-an-hour winds, 4-inch hail. They're still ongoing in northeastern Missouri, southeastern Iowa, western Illinois. The main threat appears to, so far, be outside of the enhanced risk area in Kansas, where we are anticipating the potential for 80 to 90-mile-per-hour winds, again, out of the enhanced risk, right along the I-70 corridor. So, enhanced risk out here. I'll show you it. We've seen 4-inch hail, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Outside of that, we currently have this mess of 70-mile-an-hour severe warnings, and we are anticipating the potential for 80 to 90-mile-an-hour winds around this area in about an hour and a half, maybe 2. Around 8, 9 p.m. Eastern. That should catch you up. Oh, and multiple ridiculous tornadoes in Quebec, Canada today. Maybe not like ridiculous as in strong, but definitely a lot of tornadoes and definitely a lot of solid looking supercells. Most from what I know has occurred over mainly rural regions. Let's see here. Storms look to still be going out here. You see this new storm that has popped up over in Kirksville. That is probably your main storm in terms of your main risk. Your main line of storms was anticipated to be back here near Centerville. This is most likely part of it. So that is warned for 1.75 HL 60-mile-an-hour wind. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Definitely no shortage of severe storms currently. We are up to, this includes Canada, 22 severe thunderstorm warnings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those are in Canada. So we're down to, I should say up to 17 severes in the US, I believe. Most of those are for 70-mile-an-hour winds. Some of them are for 1.75 inch hail. And then the other half is for like 1 inch hail or so. If we just click on all of them, this is for 70, this is for 70, 70, 70, 70, 60, 70, 70. Oh, nope, 1.75 inch hail. This is the one for 70, 60, 60, 7. Oh, 1.75 inch hail. I thought that one was for 70 as well. This one's for 70, 1.75 inch hail, 1.75 inch hail, 1.75 inch hail, 60 and 1, 60 and 1. And back up here, 60 and 1. So we'll see. Oh, and a new one for 60 and 1. I think this is going to be where our main threat is, and these storms should gradually not weaken, but gradually strengthen for the next 2 hours or so. Peak intensity of this event should be 8:30 to 9:30 is when I'm expecting these strongest storms. Unless we've already hit that peak, which I'm curious to see what the new HRRR will say, 22Z. And I may just base ending stream off the new HRRR, which is not something I typically do. Oh, this one just got one for 70-mile-an-hour winds as well. So definitely a lot of severe weather, that is for sure. No shortage of severe storms currently. Oh, hey, we had an unwarned tornado. Land spout on the ground at approximately 4:05 p.m. Eastern. We were, in fact, not live for that. We went live at, I think, 4:15. Yeah, 4:15. So we missed that by 10 minutes. Severe watch has just been issued for the potential of 1 inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. So winds being the biggest issue out here in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. So I think most of our slight risk is in a watch now. Yep. We've got severe watches almost in the entirety of the slight risk area with the exclusion of northeastern Colorado for now. Remember, we already had the watch for Michigan and Chicago, so I don't know if we'll be seeing a watch out there. I don't believe we will see a watch out there in northeast Colorado today. I could check the latest models just to see if they have anything really going. They do not. So Colorado, I don't expect a watch. Let's see. Do you know any tornadoes that have that has debris spikes? Okay, so the Omaha tornado this year, the Rolling Fork tornado, I believe last year, the Mayfield tornado, the Moore tornado, the El Reno tornado, I believe the Andover tornado had one as well, the Greenfield tornado, that would be, I believe Andover, Kansas had it. Let me think of any others. The winner set Iowa one might have had a marginal one. I'm not too sure. I can't remember that one. It's probably most of the ones that I remember. But I'm sure others like the Joplin one had it. I'm sure probably the Tuscaloosa one had it. The Rainsville had it as well. What other ones? That's others that are just off the top of my head that probably had it that I haven't looked into. Probably like 5 of them from the 2011 outbreak, super outbreak. Maybe Phoenix, unsure. To be honest, I forget a lot of the tornadoes I track, not but about a week after them, unless they're extremely memorable. I mean, even the EF4 I tracked in both of the ones in Oklahoma, I've really forgotten what those look like on radar. Same goes for the EF4 in Iowa. I do still remember it though, actually. What was that one? Geez, why can't I remember the name of it? Greensfield, Iowa. All right, let me close out all this stuff here. You guys want to see a bomb here? Here's a nice bomb for you. Satellite imagery of the storms. Look at southern Iowa. We went live. I'll tell you when we... Right there, we went live. So we've been live for all of this. Watch how crazy it gets towards the end of the loop. Start seeing those storms in Kansas popping off too. I do not, girl dev. And look at that big explosion. Look at that massive plume of clouds here from the severe storms. You can see we're starting to get it in Kansas. Wow, this is so weird looking at it from this angle. Holy crap. You can see we're really getting that in Kansas as well. So those are exploding. And I anticipate we'll see more that explode here towards northwest of Kansas City. Oh my goodness. I gotta click off of this. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get a headache just looking at that. Michigan's clear. You're good. Just some rain left over. We're already done with Michigan's threat. Unless you're in extreme southern Michigan towards the Coldwater area. That's where the severe threat is still happening. Where are you, Misty? Bowling Green? No. I'm gonna have to say no. I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't believe so. It's definitely a possibility, but I'm not anticipating it. Sam, there's a chance I end in about 27 minutes. But I'm not sure at the moment. I am unsure. Let's see. I'm going to quickly check this, y'all. Okay. There we go. Springfield, Illinois. Let me see. Yep, you're in a watch. We're keeping an eye on these severe storms well off to your northwest that are moving generally off to the east-southeast. So, yeah, definitely later on today, about 2.5 hours from now, I'd say right around the realms of 8:30 East or 9:30 Eastern, you may get in on an isolated severe. I'd say right around 8:39 Eastern. Definitely possible. I don't know, Sam. Have you have you you know looked at yesterday or been tracking any of the severe weather over the last 50, 60 years, ever since they started issuing tornado warnings. Pretty sure we've had tornado warnings in the US before. I know what you mean, though. Yeah, we haven't had any tornado warnings today in the US. Des Moines in the clear, yes. Des Moines is in the clear. We thought storms would fire just over, if not south of Des Moines, but we had prefrontals here that fired well off to your south. And those have really just ruined most of the threat today. But they've still been, they've still been their own severe threat, just not what we were anticipating. They're not as big of a wind threat as anticipated. At least right now. All right, another severe just got issued near Salina, Kansas, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. Most of our considerable severes are out here in Kansas, so we'll be watching them very, very closely. Those highlighted yellow polygons are significant for hail, wind, or possibly either if we just go through them. This one's for wind, this one's for hail, this one's for wind, this one is for a normal one. It's not significant. Not significant. This is for wind and hail towards Great Bend. One west of that, north of Leonard, Kansas, for hail. So it's kind of a mix of both. Oh, a report of 70-mile-an-hour winds out here in extreme southeast Iowa, south of, what is this, Montrose, southeast Iowa, for 70-mile-an-hour winds there. And we'll continue to watch that as well. Is that one for hail, perhaps? 1-inch hail, 70, so not that big for the hail side of things. Continued that severe. It's now tour possible again. 70-mile-an-hour winds, 0.70 or 1.75-inch hail. So 70-mile-an-hour winds and 1.75-inch hail there, going towards Quincy, west central Illinois, northeastern Missouri. We'll watch that too. Let me see if the new HRRR is coming in, because I'm a weather enthusiast and I want to look at every last HRRR model run, even though they are going to be inaccurate because the event's ongoing. Misty already said, I really don't know. You may be included. It depends if these storms keep going. I'd say it's possible, but I don't know. We're not anticipating it at the moment. If we see an MCD out there, I'll let you know. Which we actually just got one. They highlighted this cluster of storms. Caleb, I think that barely includes Peoria. If not, you're barely outside of that new MCD. Actually, we can check. Barely outside of the new MCD. A cluster of severe thunderstorms will propagate across portions of southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, and western Illinois. Very large hail, around 2-inch in diameter, will be expected with this activity. An MCS may eventually evolve with the potential of 70-mile-an-hour winds as well with this. So, looks like an MCS will eventually be a possibility here. So, if you're in that new mesoscale discussion right here, you are in the risk for up to, or I should say, around the realms of 2-inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds, which is not as big of a threat as what we were anticipating. All right, so if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. More importantly, share the stream with your family, friends, social media. Another report of 70-mile-an-hour winds there as well, towards southeastern Iowa. And I'm going to quickly take about a 60-second break here. Dusty, I've already forgotten where you're located, so if you want to drop that, I can say it when I get back. I will be right back in about 60 seconds. Alright, I am back. Rushville. Alrighty. I'm assuming that is in Illinois. Okay, this storm is moving pretty fast now. It's moving at 50, so that is really started moving now. So if that storm ends up hitting you, it will be in about an hour, right about 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So still right around 8. Which that thing is moving way faster now. Went from 20 to 80. Let's see. Another severe for 1.75-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds back out here west of Canton in northeastern Missouri. Looks like some of these storms in Kansas are weakening. It seems like our main storm is probably going to be 2 storms. This one up here towards the, let's see, south of Oakley, Kansas area, and then this storm north of Great Bend. Those seem to be the main storms to watch in Kansas. And then back towards this area, we've got a whole lot of storms to watch. They're all in the radar hole, so we can't really look at them too closely and accurately, but we'll just still keep an eye on them the best we can. And we'll see what happens. All right. Let's go to Bethany, Missouri. Yeah, that is where Connor is right now. So that's where Connor is. He's just sitting there at a gas station. I can tell you this, if he's going to keep chasing, he's got to commit now. He can't sit there for much longer. You could either book it towards Western Illinois or book it towards Topeka. Which, if I were him, honestly, I don't even know what I would do. I don't even know what I would do at that point. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just continue to watch this, y'all. See what these storms evolve into here. Let's see. I think we may end in 16 minutes, honestly. I hate to do it because I really did want to stay here for 5 hours. I was actually looking forward to staying here for a long time, tracking this threat. I was really excited to watch these storms pop off. And they did pop off really fast. So my severe weather interest is definitely content now. But we'll still keep an eye on it. They're in a radar hole at this moment. It just seems to be a big wind threat and isolated hail threat, so I'll monitor it to go live again tonight. We're just 5 likes away from our like goal, so if you guys haven't already, hit the like button. We are getting close to the end of stream, from what I could tell. Unless we end up with something interesting, which last time this happened, we ended up with a random 100-mile-an-hour severe. What in the heck am I looking at, GFS? The GFS just stalls a hurricane over Mexico. Wow. That is very unrealistic. Yeah. Sounds like they're thinking of calling it as well, Connor. So we'll just see what happens here. Let's see. I'm trying to see what the rest of the night might have to hold, Joel, to figure out if we might want to stay alive. All of this stuff will die out after 11 p.m. 11 p.m. is like the last hour, and then after that, everything just... 10 p.m. actually, everything starts to rapidly die out. But they just don't look the best. They just straight up don't look the best. I feel like we might have that one storm. We might have that one storm that ends up being a big issue. But these storms have, man, exploded in a half. Gracious. They have really exploded. So just a big mess here of clustered severes. They're actually downgrading some of them. This one's just been downgraded now to a normal severe, not even toward possible. This one's been downgraded. So they've actually just... And these have been canceled too. Wow. So it looks like only 2 of them are the main issue. One in Carthage and then one out here towards west of Cranton. Are we buffering? We're not buffering on my end, Misty. Mods, maybe if you could just say that it's on Misty's end, Misty, because I don't know if she can hear me. So 80-mile-an-hour winds will be possible tonight. 80 to 90-mile-an-hour winds, 3-inch hail still a possibility. So we'll watch it. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm gonna close this out. Yeah. Honestly, Connor is still waiting. So he's still holding faith that something may occur here, but I don't think we'll see much. So there's all your radars, and notice how every last one of them is full of convection now. We started at the beginning of the stream and only had one of these radars full of convection. Now every last one of them has convection on them. I'll move some of these around a bit. Anything for Kansas? Definitely. Definitely. I'll switch back over to the normal scene so that we don't have to look at 500 trillion ones at the same time. Central Kansas, biggest issue right here. This is where our main severe threat is. Most specifically with this storm that's highlighted Great Bend area. Thank you for giving me an area. Now I don't have to talk about the entirety of Kansas. Even though I don't really mind. Great Bend, yeah, definitely keeping an eye out there for sure. I don't know if this cell is going to move your way. It looks like it's pretty much stationary at this point. If it gets to you, it's definitely going to be an issue. So if I'm in Great Bend, just main thing is stay indoors. That's it. That's really the main thing at the moment. But it could definitely get pretty crazy quickly if this storm moves further southeast. Which it looks like it's slowly moving. I imagine this is a big flood threat, too. Doesn't look too bad. About 2.5 inches of rain at the moment. But wouldn't fully rule out an isolated flash flooding event up in this region here. Because it's been there for quite a long time. I mean, it has been sitting over that one area for about an hour and 20 minutes. So, main thing, stay indoors. There is a good chance you'll get put in a severe if it continues moving south. Main hazard with it will be hail and wind, primarily wind. So get ready for up to 2-inch hail and 70-mile-an-hour winds. That's like your worst case scenario. So make sure things are, buckled down. Make sure nothing's going to go flying. And make sure that you have cars in carports or at least covered a bit. But that's like the worst case scenario. Most likely you'll just end up with some gusty winds around 10 to 20 and a lot of heavy rain. And you'll definitely, the worst part is going to be the lightning and thunder. So make sure everything's charged, and in about 15 minutes, let it all charge for 15 minutes. And after those 15 minutes are up, unplug everything. Because you're probably going to get a few lightning strikes and they could zap computers or anything that's in a charging port. And yeah, outlet. There we go. Outlet. That's the word. I'm in Great Bend. It's getting crazy. Yeah. The lightning is what's like ridiculous with these storms. A lot of lightning. I mean, that is thunderstorms after all. They're not thunderstorms without thunder and lightning. I mean, these things exploded, dude. Absolutely exploded. Let me show you all the satellite imagery here if I can get the right scene. There we go. Look at this. So this is every minute satellite imagery. Watch how fast they blew up. Which we're actually going to do this. This is going to look weird. I hate it at this point of view, but you can see how fast those in Kansas explode. Here they go again. Cumulus. Boom. Explosion. Boom. More explosion. Boom. Another explosion. They exploded towards the end. They really exploded. Should get more emojis. Yeah, I could work on some. But we'll see. We'll see. I haven't gotten to do really half the things I want to do with the channel in terms of more things like member streams, video streams, personal forecast live streams for members only, more emojis, more member items. Haven't gotten to do like any of that because it's just been so active. So active. So let me just look at this stuff. Yeah, everything is low in severes, and then the severes that are considerable are still on the lower side, 1.75-inch hail. So I'll monitor it for the rest of the night, but we're actually going to end. This will be about a 3-hour live stream once we're done ending. So definitely not, what I was hoping for in terms of live stream duration, but I'm not sure exactly when I will see you guys next. I can't promise a live stream tomorrow because I may want to just take a quick day off. So I'm not going to promise a live stream tomorrow. It will be possible. It will be possible, but I'm not going to promise one. It'll be one or the other. So tomorrow I will make the call to take either today, which will be tomorrow, or the next day off. So I'll either be live tomorrow or I'll be live, what's the next day after tomorrow? Saturday. I'd prefer to live stream Saturday just because we'd be closer to Sunday and Monday's severe threat. None of these are Tor possible. I'll just check again. Yeah. So there's a few storms to keep an eye on, but they're really weakening. They're really weakening. So, yeah, hopefully we continue this trend. If we manage to see something over the top, I'll be back tonight. So, hey, we hit our like goal. Thank you guys so much for 100 likes. That's greatly appreciated. I think that's like the 3rd or 4th live stream in a row we've hit 100 likes. Absolutely insane. This is the 3rd one in a row we've hit 100 likes. Absolutely crazy. Greatly appreciated. And yeah, we'll start concluding shortly, even though I know Caleb doesn't want me to, but Get Discord, Caleb. Hey, get Discord. Speaking of Discord, first link in the description, you can find my link tree. You could get, where I'm on Twitter there and Discord. If you want to just join the Discord server, second link in the description. And Chaser, our Storm Chaser Connor Croft, fourth link in the description as well. So, yeah, that is about it. I'll just run through these one last time really fast before we start ending. Here's another severe that just got issued towards Burlington in West Central Illinois. Another severe for 70. This looks like they may not continue it. They have not issued a new severe, so they may not continue that severe past Carthage. Another severe for 1-inch hail, 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds for the next 19 minutes. Another severe 1.75-inch hail northeastern Missouri out there. West of Canton, Kirksville under a severe 1.5-inch hail, 60. This one's also going to expire for in 4 more minutes, 70-mile-an-hour winds. Back towards Kansas, I'm just going to click on them. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. And there you go. All right, that is going to be it for today's live stream, y'all. I don't know exactly when I'll see y'all next. Just stay tuned to the community post. I'll just figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I may take a break tomorrow or might take a break Saturday. It just depends. If tomorrow's threat's not that high, it seems like we have quite a hail threat tomorrow for potentially 2-inch hail. But if it's not anything really crazy, I'll just go live Saturday, because I really want to go live more on Saturday in terms of just talking about the threat on the other days. So I don't want your money, Caleb. Go put it towards like a computer or a drone or something. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciated, and I will see you guys in another live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. Watch severe weather in the tropics. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather, and I'll see you guys in another live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Good.